Picture yourself growing up in this world with ideas and beliefs and how society works, just like everybody else. Then, all of a sudden, people are fighting to change how said society works, to change these ideas and beliefs. Today, we'll discuss why certain individuals and groups support the patriarchy. I've researched the patriarchy and why people support it, as I also understand where they're coming from and why they have these beliefs. In this speech, I will explain the views of those who support the patriarchy, the reasons why they hold these views, and the barrier that influences these beliefs. Let me begin with explaining the different demographics associated with people who support the patriarchy. Usually, these individuals are white men who are either Gen Z or millennial. As Simply Psychology states, quote, while these views may not be as extreme now, there still exists the belief by some that men, specifically white men, are more most dominant and important in society, end quote. This means that the patriarchy benefits white men, so it's understandable why they support it. According to Ipsos, over half of Gen Z and millennials say that women's giving women equal rights to men has gone far enough, being 57% of Gen Z and 60% of millennials, while only 43% of baby boomers. This means that generally, the supporters of the patriarchy are white, Gen Z, and millennial men. Now, let's take a look at why these people support the patriarchy. One reason is their beliefs on how men are naturally dominant over women. According to Simply Psychology, quote, traditionalists who are in support of the patriarchy believe that men are born to dominate and women are born to be subordinate. They believe that the hierarchy of power has always existed and always continue to exist as it is human nature, end quote. This means that the beliefs of these individuals they're most likely grown up with are that men and women are not equal and should not have equal rights and should not be treated equally. As Simply Psychology states, men are usually seen as leaders in the public and private sphere, meaning men lead and women follow. While people also believe that making men and women equal will discriminate against men, as men are seen as the dominant sex, and creating men and women equal will discriminate against the dominant sex, men. According to Ipsos, this gender gap between male and female Gen Zs is greater on the issue of equality, going so far that it discriminates against men. 6 in 10, 60% of Gen Z men agree with this statement, while 4 in 10, 40% of Gen Z women feel this way, end quote. This means that around half of all respondents believe that making men and women equal will discriminate against men, especially male respondents. Though these individuals most likely believe that men are dominant over women, this doesn't mean that they realize that their actions can cause harm to people. It doesn't mean that they know what their actions are doing. Finally, let's take a look at the barrier that prevents them from being against the patriarchy. Forming new beliefs and disposing of deeply rooted beliefs is a very hard thing to do. According to the Alan Turing Institute, quote, a substantial body of evidence from cognitive science indicates that humans are remarkably resistant to changing their minds, even when faced with contradictory evidence, end quote. Changing someone's mind, especially when information is seen as negative or as an attack, is nearly impossible. As well as, quote, we are also particularly resistant to changing our beliefs that challenge our self image and those connected to parts of our identity. This is where a well known phenomenon known as confirmation bias comes into play. Confirmation bias refers to our tendency as humans to stick to our original beliefs and cognitive patterns. End quote. This means that it is extra hard for these individuals and anyone to change their beliefs in something that is so deeply rooted in their identity, as well as their understanding for society, like men being dominant over women. When you have believed one thing for your whole life, and someone tells you that it is the opposite or that it's different from what you believe, of course you're not going to believe the opposing side. It also must be so confusing, as well as cause cognitive dissonance, which can be very uncomfortable. In conclusion, while the patriarchy is designed to hurt people, there are reasons why people support it, even unknowingly. We looked at the demographics of those who support the patriarchy, what shapes their beliefs, and the barrier that holds their beliefs. Understanding these people allows us to have more compassionate and productive conversations where we can find solutions. Thank you.